Jesus. That's very, very loud. Jesus. Oh, it's not that loud. That's cool. Let's go back to my there we go. Alright. Let's get cracking. So, I'm not sure if I should be showing people this. This project is my favorite project so far. Out of everything that I've ever done, this is probably the most fun that I had, simply because the amount of basses that I used. You know what? I'm just going to play the track. There. Starts traditional sort of way with some nice chords that are a little bit lo-fi, but I think you'll get the gist of it. much ends from there. Okay. Just turn all these off. So that's basically the target that I go for, not just with dynameter, but like with my multimeter. I try not to go anywhere past sort of 8.4 RMS if I can, which I went pretty good. Yeah, so as you can see, the bass to me is quite tough. It's if we pop this in, what we'll do, we'll run through the master chain first. So I prefer to use this, the J37. It's nice. It's really really functional. I used to use Slate Digitals, but not anymore. There is quite a bit of stereo treatment, and then just a slight fraction more on the mono range. That's the beauty about having Pro Q. So most of the stereo imaging is all mid-range here, and then all of it's just basically to give little bits and pieces its own space. BX Digital. See, I go to 270 Hertz. I'm not like a lot of people. I prefer it up here. So that way you get a bit more of a punch with your snare. Just general compression. This is gentle. Then 2 limiters. So what this does is it sort of evens out the load on the limiter, if you didn't know. Let's have a look. So the bass, there's 2 types of bass within this. So there's this little intro piece, and then you got this piece. This is basically the J37. Now I have layered the bass. There's a trick there with using the delay that's in one of these, in one of the synths, and I sort of ducked it a little bit and EQ'd it around here and made it fit really nicely. And basically what I've done, instead of routing it to itself, I just bounced the image of this. So it's basically this point here, and all of this, these two are basically the same. So this is like a clone of this, and these 3 go together. So this bass here becomes like gives it just that little bit more oomph, and I can EQ out certain frequencies that I don't want to come through to give the sound more body, or maybe more top end. Yeah, but I've set it separately. I haven't. What a lot of people do is they put a send. I said they would put a send here. They would go and route it to another channel and then basically just beef that channel up. No, I don't do that. I prefer to have an audio file to do so. So it's, I don't know, it just seems cleaner to me. So I was missing some range right here, and a little bit just in between that I'd taken too much out of in the 200 to 500, and yeah. So after that, I believe this track started with the drums. Most of the time I start with the drums. So I've got a lot of chopped up drums. There's actually, the kick is a live kit. A kick that I have, I'm gonna have to unfreeze these. A kick that I have EQ'd to fit around this kick. So basically start with this one, so that's this one here. Alright, that wasn't enough for me. It needed a bit of top end, and then it needed some live, a bit more of a live feel. Like it had it in a between 2 and 5K, but it's just not enough. You see, and having these, playing a live drum kit when, like, these are really good with Logic. Logic has live drummer. You can feed him in, you can tell him what to play. It's great. You can bounce it out, play it live. I prefer to have it just sitting there live, rather than bounce it out. So altogether, like, there's 3 parts of the snare, 4 parts of the snare, sorry. So there is this point, it's most of the snare. That's its harshness. There's no EQ on that because it all runs through here. Gives it the snap. And this, I believe this was, it was a very faded snare. I think this is more hat than anything. There you go, more hat than anything. And then this finally was, yeah, the more live feel. So after all that, I wanted to have a really pushy groove. So without that, just with what it is here, it's basic. It's nice enough. Didn't feel like it had enough for me eventually when I got to move on to more exciting parts, so I added some hats, which actually I decided to put my drummer to follow this pattern. Felt like it added right to it. Compressed it, sidechain, I believe I sidechain compressed it to this. And then I added a bit of a dynamic rhythm. So you can see, cancel. can see the volume, the dynamic change. It adds a nice push to it. So with all that in mind, this was not enough. Even with this. So it needed this. It just needed that air. Layering bass can be quite difficult. Having BX Digital, this plugin here, having this is really good. Even though I did not change most of the parts to this one, where are we? This one, sorry. This piece here, I ran less mono here than the other one, and I believe this is that's pretty much the point that started it all. Yeah, so if we take all this away, it sounds very very tinny. Now that's the groove. So let's go ahead and show you this melody. So this melody, firstly, I'm gonna take that off. This plugin, being able to change the input mode really has a great effect on where this sits in the mix. I'll show you why. Okay, now here. And being able to sit here and like feel the width change, like it makes no difference to its EQ. It's all about space. Okay. All right, so the chords are probably my most favorite. I like using a lot of native plugins. Let's go ahead and take all them off. Right, so this. Back here. Don't need that. All right. Oh yeah. See, as soon as I start unfreezing shit goes wrong. Come on. That's better. Alright, so this is a few different tones. basically it's just set at a nice chorus, and then BX Digital does this thing, make sure that the bottom end is nice and low and mono, with a little bit of space, stereo with that at the top. The key with these in ESP is it's ADSR. You can fiddle with the resonance a lot too, but if you're looking to make something stereo, I'd tell you to back off the resonance. If you notice that the frequency, it's not like, I can open it, it's got nothing to do with the frequency here. It's within the track stack here, so everything's basically, I've layered a couple of chords, a couple of instruments into the chords, and then EQ'd them how I wanted them, and then just kept fiddling with them until I got the whole sound that I wanted. So I can sit here and I can adjust this chord. I can let's take that back to what it was. I can take more of that out, throw more in. I can add more white noise, which it just doesn't do what I want it to. So the next step was to add, if it's going to pop up, a vintage organ. Now this is the thing that's taken the most of the CPU, due to the fact that if you see here, I've laid in some automation. Which is pretty crazy. So together, it wasn't too bad. Needed more. I thickened it with Spire just to give it a more of a church organ feel. And then again, I made a fresh new patch. Yeah, something with a bit of fuzz. So, like, it could have just sat here. These are all little tips and tricks you can do. You can sit and you can play with the attack and release. If you bring the release down a little bit more, it'll fade in and out a little bit more. It's a good way to make quick progression changes, like I think. There we go. Didn't know my keyboard was on. If you want that sort of effect, that wasn't what I was going for. I wanted like I wanted it to be harsh. So that was my chords. Other than that, there's not really much that I've done to this track. It's very simple. You know, keep it simple, stupid, you can achieve a lot. I might leave it at that, and yeah, basically I'll delve into whatever you want me to. If you see anything, like if you watch this and if you see anything that you want me to touch on more, let me know and I'll delve into it a little bit more. I'm not really sure what I should, hit up on about, but if you want to know more about any of these presets or whatever, comment, follow me, whatever, drop a like, say hi, and yeah, maybe watch out for this track on a coming label. But until then, we'll keep it at that. Thanks for watching.